but James definitely came ready, and at the very least, he's been doing his push-ups.
Absolutely. James Kelley in the blue gloves, Brian Lim in the red gloves. Victor pulls him right out to the Cagezilla logo. Little quick kick for Kelley. This is sometimes when the crowd will get a little frustrated when you start to see these guys dance around. They're so used to this amateurs going right at each other to try to prove something, and then you get a couple of guys in there that actually work and understand the fight game. And then you get they pick their spots and they're a little bit smarter than you're used to seeing.
Right. Well, James is certainly trying to work his angles, find his rhythm, and Brian's also looking for the counter. He's staying calm. When you see a lot of movement, sometimes it gets intimidating. You start to overreact, but. Brian is not doing that. Big shot landed right there.
Yeah, and I think it landed and it sounded worse than it was.
Yeah,
it skimmed off of Brian's forehead.
Yeah, and his counters now, Brian's really starting to catch those counters as James comes in. You really have to be careful. When you come in from such a far distance, you need to put something out there so they get their hands up. They have to react to it so you don't walk into that hard shot.
And early in the fight, a lot of things that I recognize after the many years of calling this is that I like to watch fighters that are under control and breathing through their nose. And all of a sudden, Kelley's already got that mouth open, and Lim is just very in the red gloves, very under control, breathing through his nose, understands his mouthpiece. I think that's part of the biggest thing for these amateurs is that mouthpiece.
Oh, yeah. No, oftentimes, big right hand.
Good right hand. Oh, another left. He's in trouble.
Drops low for the single. Sits him down. Beautiful, beautiful finish. Now he's able to keep those legs straight, and if you see, he actually has James's right leg hooked. Now what James needs to do is he needs to create space and push his back all the way against the cage and then shimmy up. It's called wall walking. He needs to get up. Having himself on the side with that one side against the cage really gives him no room to move. He's got to turn.
And the amount of energy that they expend trying to get this out of here instead of being smart, sliding that out and just using your legs to walk yourself up. But I tell you, Brian's pretty experienced on it. He doesn't look like he's letting him get close to the cage, going to try to spin him away.
Absolutely. Brian's got excellent top pressure, and just like he has good striking control by taking the center of the cage, he has really good control here, too, on the ground, making sure that he takes away the angles that James needs to create the space.
A lot of times fighters will get and they forget that they can throw blows down here. They just get to hugging and laying on somebody. And we see this a lot more with the bigger fighters, with the heavyweights. The guys just use that body weight. A lot of these guys, the 145s, the 150s, they get in here and start knees to the ribs and elbows to the face and try to understand what's going on the ground.
Well, Brian right now is threatening, and as you said, he does understand. He used a beautifully executed knee cut to get from half guard into side control.
10 seconds left in round number one here.
James needs to be careful when he straightens his arms out because he actually opens himself up for an arm bar. On the ground.
Well, there you go. There's the end of round number one between Brian Lim in the red corner, James Kelley in the blue corner. And I can tell you, Freedom Bail Bonds. You guys ever get in trouble? Please call them. I call them all the time for my friend Chris. All right, next round two. Victor pulls him right back out. Ooh, Brian comes out swinging.
Yeah, Brian's got a lot of confidence right now. He's coming in on a straight line, but he's looking for those heavy hands. And James needs to be careful because he knows he has no advantage.
Look how low his hands are.
Ooh,
you can tell he was in trouble. Yeah,
he got rocked.
Yeah, he didn't know where he was for a second. When you start side-eyeing somebody.
Right. And Brian came out so aggressive. He had that confidence from the last round because he knew that his punches were hurting James. And the closer he got, he would be able to establish that takedown. He's in the same position now that he was when he ended the round. And he's going to look for that very same knee cut. As you see, he's going to lift his hips up and try to get his right knee down across James's right leg.
Brian Lim in the red gloves. He's on top. James Kelley on the bottom. Brian trying to get into that side mount. And when he does this, he opens up these rib cage right here of Kelley. And I don't care how strong you are, Brian jumps in there.
No, absolutely. The only thing with that is that's going to give James an opportunity to get to his side and explode out, shrimp out. He's not doing that. He's staying flat on his back. In a position like this, you need to utilize your hips. And when you're flat on your back, you're not able to do that. Brian's still working that knee cut heavy. James is using his hand to stop it, but right there, you can only hold on for so long.
Yeah, and you just get so exhausted.
Right.
People just feel like, oh, he's just laying there. I don't think people realize how hard you're working once you're on the ground.
Absolutely. And, you saw James take his right hand and push down on that leg to try to create space, but that opened up the elbow, and Brian took advantage by that by following up with 3 or 4 hard shots. And that's going to take a little bit of wind out of James's sail. That's going to make him want to, maybe he's going to accept that loss of position because he doesn't want to take those shots.
And unfortunately, this is where the crowd starts to play a little bit into this, too, because the crowd hates this part of the fighting.
No, but they like that reversal.
They absolutely love that.
Big upper
because he got it
transition.
sunk in there deep enough.
Now, the arm is in. He needs to get a little bit more of an adjustment. Yeah, he didn't have it. James is a big, strong guy, so this might be where he feels he has the best advantage, on top in a position of dominance. Brian utilizes underhooks very well there to pull James up and get him out of the danger zone. And now he's going to transition for a single. I'm sorry, he got the double leg. He was able to scoop his hands together and get underneath him.
James Kelley in the blue gloves. He's on the bottom. Brian Lim in the red gloves. About 3/4 of the way here of round number 2. This fight scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Brian Lim still in full control of this fight.
James is looking to go 2-on-1 on Brian's right wrist and look for maybe a Kimura or something that's going to give him the leverage necessary. Brian's just a little bit too far down on his hips for that type of move, and he's going to be able to get out right here. Yeah. It creates a scramble, though, so James is able to get that single leg, but he's got to be careful of his neck.
Yeah, he's definitely giving up
Now
his
he's
neck.
under. Now he's under.
Let's see if he can hold it for 10 seconds here.
Brian needs to hook his leg so he can get the leverage necessary.
Yeah, he didn't have it again.
He got out.
That's that strength of Kelley.
Yeah.
Kelley's strength. Oh, good elbow there at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was effective, but it was a good elbow. Looked like it got through maybe. I don't think it hurt Brian.
Mouthpiece, maybe that's not the issue. Maybe he just can't get the oxygen he needs
absolutely.
to fuel his lungs.
Especially when you're laying on your back and that thing's in your mouth. Some people just disregard that thing. Walk around the house and just breathe in that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, another big hand landed from Brian. Now, you see him, same thing, moving forward, looking for the hard shots. He likes that double leg. He scoops his legs. Beautiful finish. Right into half guard with the underhook on the proper side. Now, Brian has the underhook on his right side, and that's going to allow him to get the leverage. If he jacks that arm up, it's going to open up that left hand to really do the damage it needs to do.
Kelley finds himself in the same spot as he's found himself in round 1 and 2. Brian Lim on top in the red gloves. Kelley on the blue gloves. He's on the bottom. Victor Matawala, the referee, in close proximity here, trying to see what's going on. We saw this in the first fight where we tapped and we didn't even see the tap.
Right. Well, Kelley needs to do something other than just this explode outward. Now, that was a good idea. He needs to get to his side and shrimp, creating space. If Brian can hold on to that underhook and go back, he's threatening for a Kimura.
Let's see if he can get it tucked in under here.
Now, this is actually a situation where the fence might be blocking him from moving necessary. And every time he has to create space, it gives James an opportunity to reverse him.
Now, a little difference on the cage here as Brian tries to work himself around. He's not allowed to grab it with his hands, but he can use his toes on the cage.
Well, you're not supposed to, but that's it's not seen in the same light as somebody just, holding it with their might. If you wrap your toes on the cage, they're supposed to pull you off.
Okay.
But it's much, much easier to get away with, quite frankly.
Right.
And to push off, sometimes it'll happen.
Oh, that's
Big
just
rib shots
opened
there.
up right there. That's
right
going to
on the
hurt.
floating rib.
Yeah. If he wasn't breathing hard before, he will be now. Kelley just taking monster shots from Lim.
And Brian's made some adjustments here coming off the stool in the second round. He's taking a more dominant approach, working his strikes in, and not taking those risks necessary.
Probably about a minute left here in round number 3. This will be the third and final round. Lim still in total control of this. He's in the red gloves. Kelley in the blue gloves, still on his back.
And Kelley is just not using his leverage enough. He's not shrimping. He's not giving enough different looks, and that's going to allow Lim to really posture up and do damage. Again, Lim's going to try to create that space and get that knee across. And ultimately, he's about to get into mount here, and that's going to make things a lot more difficult.
Kelley just looks frustrated right now, Charles. Yeah. He is really frustrated. I saw his head laid back. You can tell that I give up kind of look. And he knows right now he's just surviving.
Big shots.
Oh, that one hurt. That right hand hurt.
Looks like you got to stop the fight here.
Let's see it. It's over. It's over. He's stopping it.
Yeah, and that's
Victor Matawala stops the fight, and I think that's the smart thing to do.
Absolutely.
Even though it's not that much time left in the third round, he had to stop the fight because he was just really in a bad spot. Look at him limping right here. Kelley, let's make sure we get a good look at him.
Yeah.
Have the doc go in there and take a quick look.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, referee Victor Matawala has called a stop to the action, 2 minutes and 41 seconds into the third round. For your winner, by TKO, out of the red corner, Brian Lim!
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Lim comes away a winner tonight in the second fight at Cagezilla 45. When we come back, we still have tons more to do. It's the Hall of Fame night, and we still have 3 title fights coming up at the end. Stay tuned. It's Cagezilla 45.